Hello, everybody. Welcome to Action Theater presents Sahara from 2005, starring Matthew McConaughey, Steve Zahn, Penelope Cruz, Lambert Wilson, Clint Truman, Deloy Leto, William H. Macy, Lemmy James, Ran Wilson, and Clint Dreyer. Directed by Breck Essner. One of my favorites. It didn't do too well when it came out on its original run. How you doing there at the lead scenes?
Well, fair to partly cloudy. How about yourself, Bill?
Yeah, sunny and tired and hot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Just to let everyone know the present situation. Those of you who are in my chat, we will get the Cosme link up to you. Had to kind of switch it out last minute. Technical issue, couldn't be helped. So while Bill is getting the present link up, let everybody know a little bit about the movie that we're going to be watching today. This, as Bill said, this is Sahara. It is based on the Clive Cussler novel of the same name, and is a one in the series of novels surrounding a character of an adventurer by the name of Dirk Pitt. I first became aware of this character in the late 70s through a book which was eventually a film by the name of Raise the Titanic. Richard Jordan played Pitt. Jason Robards as Admiral Sandecker, who's another character that runs through the books. And also actor named David Selby, and Ann Archer was in that as well. And kind of posited what might have happened, because you got to understand that at the time, people were led to believe that the Titanic sank in one piece. Now we know that that's not what happened, but at the time, that's what was believed. So the whole theory that the movie posits is that since it was in one piece, you would be able to erase it in one piece, which is eventually what they do. They're spoiler alert for like a 50-year-old movie, but that's what they do. And there are some bad guys who want something on board the Titanic, and Pitt has to stop them. And that was the previous film adaptation of a Pitt novel. And Sahara was the next one aside from that. And the plot synopsis reads as follows. Master explorer Dirk Pitt goes on the adventure of a lifetime, seeking out a lost Civil War battleship known as the Ship of Death in the deserts of West Africa, while helping a WHO doctor being hounded by a ruthless dictator. All right. So that's the basic storyline for Sahara. It is PG-13 rated, 2 hour and 4-minute runtime.
Damn it.
Hold on.
Well,
let me see.
I keep on hearing this noise.
What noise?
In my headset. Okay.
All right.
Uh, okay. Well, I had a troll just take over, like literally come into one of my Cosme rooms, the main one that we used for action theater, got taken over, and then the person took over the room. Like I was the only admin there, and
Hmm.
they posted some nasty, perverted, gross stuff. That's all I'll say. So I hope it's not like on all my Cosme rooms, but I do have a couple of them, so we'll try this one, and hopefully you'll see none of the bad stuff. I hope that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Connie. I didn't do it. I don't know how this person was able to take over the Cosme room and do that. It's disgusting that these trolls out there can do that. Damn, and I keep hearing this poppet. It's got to be having to do with Cosme. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see. In the meantime, let me get the sound up here, and if I'm hearing it too, and if anybody else is having any audio or video issues, please let us know. Keep polls both in the Cosme room and in the main chat. All right. Testing my
Wait,
sound. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
wait a minute. I'm not even the admin to this one anymore. Oh, jeez. What the hell?
All right. No go. Hold on.
I'm not the admin on this room. Let's try one of my other rooms. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Sound check. Sound check. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Good. I can hear you too. Okay. All right. All right. So I am linked up, video and sound.
We're gonna have to switch rooms because, like I said, I'm not an admin. I can't do anything in the room we're currently in. Well, let's try this one.
Okay.
Let's try the Western room. If somebody mess with me whenever I can't use any of my rooms. Let's try this one. That's the room I'm currently in. Let's see if I can load up the media.
Hello to
I
you.
tell you.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, so far
Okay.
so good. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Usarn G. Hello. Welcome, sir. Uh, please join us in the Cosme room at the link at the top that I've just posted. Snortapoopus Cuber. And of course, Connie Clary. All right. All right. So for those of you who are in the Cosme room, you should be seeing the Fandango at home, the main page for the film. Okay, I see it's not a purpose. I see Connie. And let's get started with the film.
Okay, come on.
Yep.
Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's starting. Success. Oh my gosh. Thank God.
All right, Paramount Pictures. Bristol Bay Productions. Fine, fine. Mhm. Richmond, Virginia, 1865, end of the Civil War.
There you have the South carrying boxes of gold coins in an ironclad steamboat.
Yeah, I
Oh,
lost a picture as
it's
well.
frozen.
Yeah.
Is anybody experiencing some freezing?
I have lost the picture. I see nothing.
What was that?
I see nothing. My screen is blank.
Is it okay? Oh my God. Let's see. Pairing.
Uh, Welcome to Cosme Room G. Santiago says, always good to see you. A little bit of a hiccup. Uh, Last minute changes. Had to switch rooms. And sometimes this is a live. We will get back to the film
How
very
about
soon.
now? Is it working now?
I am getting the connection timeout message. Let me. I'm just going to jump out and refresh. Okay, I'm back. You have Steve Zahn is Al Giordano, who's Pitt's sidekick, and he's another character who is in the throughout the books as well. Reference to Numa. And this is actually my first watch with this movie, so I'm curious to see how it turns out.
I really like Steve Zahn.
Yeah.
I think they're in Nigeria and
Mhm.
in the biggest city there, like Lagos or Lagos. They're Penelope Cruz and her World Health Organization truck.
Yeah. The director, Rick Eisner, who also directed the remake of The Crazies about 5 years after this, and also directed some episodes of The Expanse. Dr. Hopper, of course, is Glenn Turman, who I'm sure many of our generation recognize from Gremlins. Of course, Different World, I believe he was in that as well. Hello to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights.
Hello, Daniel Berry. Great to see you.
Andrea Black, of course.
Hey, Andrea. Good to see you. And thank you to Conic Clary for being a strong supporter of Deleted Scenes channel and my channel. We appreciate you. Thank you.
The link is at the top of the chat, so please join us there. We're a few minutes into the film, so you haven't really missed anything. So Jump on in. Of course, introduction of Dirk Pitt, played this time, of course, by Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, he don't look good.
It's worse than that, Jim. He's dead. It's worse than that, Jim. He's dead.
Whoops. Hmm. $20, $80, $99.
I love the character of Dirk Pitt. I've listened I've listened to a lot of his novels
Mm-hmm.
on audio, and I've always enjoyed it. Especially when you're going on a long drive, you just pop in an audio book that's Clive Husser. You can't go wrong with the Dirk Pitt novels. They are spectacular. I love them all.
Yeah, I understand the audio version of Treasure is pretty good. My dad was listening to it at one point, and
Oh, the first
I wouldn't mind seeing that get done as a film.
the first one that I listened to was Inca Gold. Man, that got me
Mm.
hooked.
Relax. She married Anton Chigurh. I think she'll be okay. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Let's be flaky about that shit. This Fargo sequel is weird. Railway Nation Gaming Clubs. Good to see you, sir. Link
Hey,
is at the
real.
top of the chat. Yeah, and a Civil War ironclad making it all the way to West Africa. That's interesting. AKA the Merovingian. So what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Thank you, Yusan G, for the $2 super sticker. Grinning Fox. All right, all right, all right. Yeah.
Uh, I'm looking to maybe go to the country of Nigeria and Lagos in the future. There's somebody I know that I like to visit. That's a heck of a water cruiser.
It's a montage.
Hail to Action Podcast. We have a timestamp of 25 minutes, 24 seconds.
And somehow, I don't think we're going to be parting ways for very long.
No, I got the check. The plot is thickening. What is going on? What is killing these people? Oh, Steve lost his. He lost his hat. Your hat's gone. Oh boy, trouble. We got trouble right here on the Niger River. Shoot him with a flare gun. Yeah, that always works. Set fire to their truck. Boy, he sure is trigger happy guy. Better not hurt my boat. Well, we're probably going to try. I can't promise you anything. Panama. No more boat, Admiral. Hey, it's the voice of northern Oklahoma. Curtis, Shelby. Good to see you, brother. It didn't really work the first time. You lost track. The camel bit him in the ass. That's a bad camel. Audi FKH. C 2005, sometimes known as Jim.
Oh, huh. Lenny James, of course, from probably best known in this country for The Walking Dead. And I first saw him in a TV series called Hidden Target, based on the TV series. No, Human Target, something like that. I'm blanking on the title, but yeah. Oh, okay. Wants car back. Okay. Hello to Big Al Presents. I will be joining Al along with Wilkie's Movies and Music tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for Films with Friends. We will be watching from 1987, the cult classic Pumpkinhead. Sergeant Giratina, good to see you. Link is at the top of the chat. If you wish to join us for the film. Bill, can we get a timestamp? Curtis Selby, good to see you as well. Are we about to hijack a train? Get snappy. Nothing's impossible. Red 2, report to Rogue One. I'm going to guess that this is all violating some sort of UN sanction something or other. And the lights went out all over the world. Yeah, I'd say. And of course, if the ambassador looks familiar, that's Patrick Malahide. Uh, you might recall him from The Longest Goodnight, U.S. Marshals, and another Penelope Cruz film, Captain Curly's Mandolin. Stinky, Bony Bob, Cliff, Skinny Bones Jones. Which are Jesus stamp out the Clive Cussler novels. They're all full of kinds of details, just kind of figure out how were they all fit in. Indeed. Hello to Keely Chow, or Tide. Good to see you. The link is at the top of the chat. Watching Sahara, 2005. Oh,
Whoa. Yeah, I love
flatted the
this.
phoenix on the ground.
Oh, what joy that would be. We're sailing a plane.
Can we get a timestamp, Bill, for folks?
Yeah, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 43 seconds.
All right. So we're about to enter our third act here.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. This guy's guards suck. Guy did it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, snap out of it.
Corporate retreat. I'll get the mom, you get the girl. Hey, I like that. I always get girls.
Get up. Yes, you're not Bond. Ow.
Ooh.
Have a nice flight.
Out.
Ow.
He did.
93288. What happened to the kaboom? There was supposed to be a solar power plant sized kaboom.
Yeah, stop being so negative, Al. um, you were saying?
Hmm, I was lucky. And well, but we could use those extra guys right about now. Oh, yeah. Capitan, I presume.
He found another gold coin.
All of them. Oh.
Still a live cannonball. Snakehead cut off.
You boys might want to clear out. Yeah. Okay.
What is happening here?
Well, no, but works for the movie.
Freedom fighters.
And they're probably all child soldiers anyway. Well, oh, okay, yeah, that helps. Yeah, all right. I was
Yeah.
wondering who these guys were.
Oh yeah, you were in trouble, son.
So, what about Maird? I mean, Massard. Well, not technically.
Yeah. Plausible deniability here. Hitting the U yacht needs new computers. I love this. Classic. Would you like some water, sir?
Nice. Won't be hearing from him again.
Good old Malibu. you do throw like a girl. I like his car. Still got that old Rolls Royce. And that is Sahara. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Is there like a mid credits or anything?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, shall I consult the scrolls?
Yep.
All right. Sahara was released April 8th, 2005. An estimated budget of 130 million, going on to gross over 119.2 million worldwide. Which unfortunately is why we didn't get the sequel. All right. Clint Mansell was won the BMI Film Music Award and was also nominated for an International Film Music Critics Award. Seamus McGarvey won Best Cinematography at the Irish Film and Television Awards. The Taurus nominated for the Taurus World Stunt Awards for best work with a vehicle. Jeep chasing a high-speed boat. Driver makes an errand. A Jeep and its passengers are sent flying into the water. Let's see. And 3 nominations at the Teen Choice Awards for goofy teenage shit. So, moving on. All right. Pre-production began May 8th, 2003. Film itself was announced July 11th. Pre-production continued August 27th. And filming began on December 11th. Post-production began October 2nd, 2004. Film completed in January of 2005. And was ready for release by March 17th, 2005. Had its Hollywood premiere April 4th. Released in the United States and around the world April 8th. Filming locations included Hampshire, England, Shepperton, Surrey, England, Catalonia, Spain, Tarragona, Spain, Farnborough, Hampshire, England, Delta del Ebro, Tarragona, Catalonia, Spain, Holly Lake, Hampshire, England, Morocco, Pystock, NGTE, Farnborough, Hampshire, England, and at the Shepperton Studios, Shepperton, Surrey, England. All right, on to the trivia. There's 107 items, so I'll get through as many of them as I can. Shooting lasted 3.5 months in Morocco, a month in Spain, and 5 weeks in London. Cast had camel riding lessons, during which they would have to ride the camel at full gallop for 90 minutes alongside a moving train. Cast had a U.S. Navy SEAL advisor for the action sequences and weapons training. In the opening scene, the camera sweeps across a series of newspaper clippings showcasing Dirk Pitt's accomplishments. One is an article about the raising of the Titanic, a reference to the Clive Cussler novel Raised to Titanic, in which where Dirk Pitt brings the ship up. It was written several years before the real Titanic was found, shattered beyond reach at the bottom of the ocean. Another is about the discovery of the CL Blanc. I have that wrong. A French plane that attempted a non-stop Paris New York flight weeks before Charles A. Long's successful journey. The plane left France was never seen again. Several people in northern Maine to have heard an airplane above the cloud cover at about the right time. Interestingly, in Cussler's Sea Hunters 2, he describes how he and his real life NUMA team of volunteers went searching for the plane in the forests of Maine. I added that. Rhyme, sorry. I don't speak French very well, folks. Were unable to find it. He suggested it likely went down in a large bog. Lindbergh's flight is often mistaken for the first transatlantic flight. It was the first solo transatlantic flight and the first flight from New York to Paris nonstop. But the first transatlantic flight was Alcock and Brown, who flew from Newfoundland to Ireland in a World War I Vickers Vimy bomber in 1919. Al Giardino having some of Admiral Sandecker's cigars is an inside joke from the novels. He always seemed to have some, no matter how carefully the Admiral kept them under lock and key. The ship used to portray the Martha Ann was one of the vessels Robert Ballard used to find the Titanic. It has since been dismantled and sold for scrap. The interior of Massard's toxic waste disposal plant was the factory in Britain where the jet engines for the Concorde were tested. A full-scale model of the Texas was built for the film. After the 1865 sequence was filmed, it was dismantled and reassembled in Morocco. When Dirk and Al talk about an incident in the past where they rode camels in Morocco, actors Matthew McConaughey and Steve Zahn are actually in the Moroccan desert, depicting Mali. Dana Cussler was cast for the role of Kitty Manick, but her scenes were cut before release. The Dictator's antique car is a fiberglass replica of a 1936 C-28 Avians Voisin built by de Tessier in Tours, France. Tessier is a known restorer of Avians Voisin automobiles. Clive Cussler has a genuine 1936 Avians Voisin similar to the C-28 that inspired the replica in his Colorado museum. The chassis is four-wheel drive with a 4.2 Jaguar engine and Rover gearbox. It was designed by Steve Lammonby. The replica was completed in 4 months. A sequel was planned, but ultimately canceled due to the film's poor box office reception. Admiral Sandecker's powerboat, the Calliope, is a Hunton RS-43 that was modified to operate in the shallow Niger River. The ship used to portray the Martha Ann was one of the vessels Robert Ballard used to find the Titanic. The original Dirk Pitt film, Raised to Titanic, was about finding and raising the behemoth cruise liner. 10 screenwriters working on the movie were paid $3.8 million in fees and bonuses. David S. Ward, who does not appear in the credits, received $500,000. Oh, here's something interesting. We brought up Dana Cussler a few items back. I'm going to be watching with Corey tomorrow night. So, okay, it's all connected, folks. All right, let me scroll back down. Christian Bale, Tom Cruise, and Hugh Jackman were considered to star as Brad Pitt. There I go. Sorry. I had to do that one time tonight. Were considered to star as Dirk Pitt. Hey, but wouldn't it be funny if they had gotten Brad Pitt to play Dirk Pitt? Anyway, moving on. Steve Zahn wears a Stockyard cap with a Longhorn Bull logo. The Stockyards are a major historical site and attraction in Fort Worth, Texas. Clive Cussler had written his own script, but clashed bitterly with every professional screenwriter brought in to polish or rework it, deriding them as hacks. The feeling was apparently mutual. Ouch. Hey, who's the best-selling author here? Following the failure of Raise the Titanic, Clive Cussler had refused to sell the movie rights to any of his books until he was approached, just as he had been for that film, by a very rich outsider. In this case, Philip Ansaltz, a Denver billionaire who had parlayed his oil and gas fortune into a broad range of investments. He was also strongly conservative Christian. One of his investments had been the Regal Theater chain, the largest in the country. And like many successful film exhibitors, he decided to put some of his money into productions. And the Ansaltz Film Group sought to produce films that weren't R-rated and delivered a strong moral message. Cussler, remembering the earlier experience, not only got Ansaltz to shell out $10 million for the rights to his 1992 novel Sahara, he also got final approval for the script, cast, and director, a highly unusual provision for the author of a novel being adapted into a film. A draft that the studio and the producers liked met with the approval of Rob Bowman, who had agreed to direct. But when the producers, whom he said never told him the extent of Clive Cussler's creative authority, kept telling him Cussler disliked that version because it dispensed with some of his favorite scenes, he then quit. Breck Eisner had never directed a big budget feature before helming this film. Clive Cussler later alleged to have, and guys, again, this is going to be what IMDb is saying. None of this has been substantiated, so please bear with me. Clive Cussler later alleged to have used racist and anti-Semitic slurs to refer to some of the counterparties during arguments over the script and casting. Philip Ansaltz would not fund any film with even a possibility of getting an R rating, which meant that some scenes Clive Cussler wanted in the film, such as the brutal revenge murder of a slave boss, were not likely to be shot, no matter how much the novelist complained. Filming got started after 3 years of production delays. Clive Cussler blasted the film on his latest book tour. Before it was even released, he filed suit alleging Philip Ansaltz and other producers had never intended to honor their promise to give him creative control and deceived him all along. They in turn countersued, alleging he had promised to sabotage the film if they didn't use his script. Cussler lost, but some theater chains grew leery about booking the film. A plane crash, which lasted just 46 seconds on screen, yet cost $2 million to film, ultimately had to be cut from the finished film in order that the contracts with advertisers who had paid millions to have their products featured in the film could be honored. The budget ballooned to twice its original size, well over $100 million, which meant that despite winning its opening weekend and performing well financially, and despite poor reviews, the film still lost money. In 2007, the film's 151-page line-item budget entered as evidence in a lawsuit and supposedly confidential was leaked to the to the Los Angeles Times. The document showed that the production benefited from cheap Moroccan labor and European tax credits, but spent a huge amount of money on a plane crash that was cut and paid Penelope Cruz's hairstylist and dialect coach over $250,000. It also included payments explicitly labeled as bribes to Moroccan officials, some of which may have violated the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Al Giardino is described in the books as a swarthy Italian with curly black hair and a bushy mustache. The role with the pale Midwesterner Steve Zahn. The reason for this is that the filmmakers decided to put more emphasis on the comedy relief aspects of the character because there isn't an actor alive who could fit close enough to Giordino's description in the books, and that this decision had the support of Clive Cussler, who apparently at least liked that Steve Zahn was going to be in the movie, much like you, Bill. All right. Penelope Cruz initially thought she was too young to play a World Health Organization doctor. A real a WHO doctor told her that doctors go to dangerous locations are more likely to be young. To promote the film, Matthew McConaughey drove his own Airstream trailer painted with a large Sahara movie poster on each side across America, stopping at military bases and many events, such as the Daytona 500 to Grand Marshal the race, premiering the movie to fans, signing autographs, and doing interviews at each stop. The trip's highlights were shown on an E-channel special to coincide with the film's release. McConaughey also kept a running blog of his trip on MTV's entertainment website. Both MTV and the film's distributor, Paramount Pictures, are owned by Viacom. McConaughey campaigned for years to play Dirk Pitt. William H. Macy was the only actor considered for the role of Admiral Sandecker. The Tuareg are mostly played by a troupe of horse riders who do stunt shows throughout Morocco. Modibo is played by French actor Paulin Foudoap. This is his only American movie. William H. Macy was cast in order to bring an indie film element to an otherwise big-budget feature. He was the last of the four main actors to sign on to the project. Sandecker's boat is a Huntington Gazelle, which costs almost $500,000. Matthew McConaughey was paid $8 million for the movie, while Steve Zahn made $2.3 million, Penelope Cruz $1.6 million. The abandoned house Frank and Eva walk through is a real home in Morocco. 3 families live in this one house. The scene where Carl... Sorry, hold on. This jumped on me. The scene where Carl brings a bottle of water to Massard was shot at the hotel where the cast stayed while they were in Spain. Was chosen via summer. Matthew McConaughey and Penelope Cruz started dating after they met on set. The relationship lasted a little over a year. Breck Eisner felt that early 1970s classic rock personified the characters in the movie. Never Been Any Reason by Head East was also featured in Matthew McConaughey's first movie, Dazed and Confused. 5 detailed Confederate coins were made for the movie, along with 15,000 gold discs for this scene. The production saved about $50,000 by borrowing scrolls from another movie. Rainn Wilson said on his first day, "I didn't understand how much goats urinate." Okay. In the background, there's an extra in the green shirt and a hat that's in almost every shot. Guy gets around. Breck Eisner got the idea for the scene where Al asks Dirk how to tie a tie from his dad, teaching him how to tie a tie as a kid. Breck Eisner wanted Kazim to be modern and suave instead of an Idi Amin-style dictator. Originally, the guys were going to crash the plane into a Jeep, which would drive them to the gas station. It was decided the plane crashing into the gas station would be simpler. The ship is a 200-foot replica of the Civil War ironclad, the CSS Texas. Matthew McConaughey learned hand-to-hand combat techniques during 2 weeks of Navy SEAL training. Matthew McConaughey traveled up the Niger River and trekked through Mali as a tourist before the movie. Breck Eisner used McConaughey's pictures from his travels as research for the film. Okay, here's one Troy might like. Matthew McConaughey substituted real tequila for the apple juice that was supposed to be in the bottle. All right. Breck Eisner said the scene where Dirk and Eva are flirting is the moment he knew the chemistry between these two is working. The mosque is based on the Great Mosque of the Zen in Mali. one of the most famous landmarks in Africa. Matthew McConaughey did many of his own stunts during the boat chase. According to Breck Eisner, he would have done every stunt in the movie if the insurance company had let him. The boat that veers off into the sand ran over a $250,000 camera. All right. While shooting in the desert, hold on. While shooting in the desert, the cast and crew endured sandstorms and swarms of locusts. The three identical racing camels would run only 200 yards at a time, Breck Eisner said. In order to get a camel to run, you have to yell its name, hit it, and kick it. The real U.S. ambassador to Morocco came by while they were filming the ambassador scene. When asked how the fake embassy looked, he said he wished the actual embassy was that nice. Steve Zahn said that carrying the truck bed liner was his least favorite thing to film. Strong winds knocked Matthew McConaughey off the plane while they were filming. The military vehicles were supplied by the Moroccan army. They got them from the U.S. The heat from the mirrors used was so strong, smoke rose from Matthew McConaughey's shirt. McConaughey had to wear a back brace after jump kicking the bad guy off the tower. The Texas ship is the same boat used at the beginning of the movie, shipped all the way from the UK to Africa. Over 150,000 rounds of blank ammunition were used in the movie. There are 250 horses and hundreds of extras used in the shot of the Tuareg looking down from the hills. Because of footprints left in the sand, many of the desert shots had to be done in one take. Steve Zahn was really sick while filming the scene where the boat drives down the river past the town. Most of the cast got sick at some point during filming. The ship was supposed to be more deeply buried, but sandstorms kept blowing the sand away. When Eva, Dirk, and Al are riding camels across the desert, that was the first day of shooting with all three of the movie stars together. Steve Zahn was very comfortable handling the weapons as he is a war history buff. As the camel Matthew McConaughey was assigned would not stay still, the scene where he swings off the camel's neck had to be reshot several times. The cast had a hard time working with the camels, which are notoriously finicky animals. Breck Eisner said, a camel is a stubborn beast of an animal. Cinematographer Seamus McGarvey designed a, quote, Sahara gold filter to create the feeling of heat. Bizarre's toxic waste disposal plant is all computer graphics. There are 350 CGI shots in the movie. Both a miniature and a life-size model of the helicopter were used for the explosion. The plane was pulled by a truck and propelled by a go-kart attached underneath it. The ship set was balanced on a motion base that was shaken back and forth using a joystick control. 300 individual costumes were designed for all the Tuareg. The camel wrangler, the only person able to jump from a camel onto a moving train, doubled for all of the actors. For years, the author of the novel in which this film is based, Clive Cussler, wanted Salma Hayek to play Eva Rojas. However, the film's producers chose Penelope Cruz for the role, a decision which was primarily made for monetary reasons. As Cruz is from Spain, the film qualified for $20.4 million in cash incentives for shooting in Europe, which would not have been possible if Hayek had been cast, as she is Mexican. Final scene on the beach was filmed on Calzada Beach in Spain. Steve Zahn and William H. Macy have worked together previously in Happy, Texas, a movie from 1999. Rainn Wilson states on his Instagram that while shooting the scene where Rudy is escaping from the border guards, every take the goats would get scared, start bleeding, and pee. They did about 8 takes, and by the end, it was sloshing back and forth in the truck and showering him in goat urine.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. There have been several movies called Sahara. We're going to go over them now. The Sahara 1983 movie shares the same name as the Sahara titles, the 1940s Humphrey Bogart World War II actioner Sahara from 1943, which, by the way, got remade in the early 2000s with Jim Belushi. They're both pretty good. The Brooke Shields starring Sahara from 83 was actually first released on the 40th anniversary of the black and white war movie adventure drama Sahara. Both pictures, of course, featured the Sahara Desert as a setting, which was portrayed by the Israeli Negev Desert in the 1983 film and by the Southern California Desert in the 1943 movie. The name was used again for a major theatrical feature film with the treasure-seeking suspense adventure Sahara 2005, where this time the famous title location was portrayed by the Moroccan desert. The divers watch that Matthew McConaughey wears is the iconic Doxus Sub 600T Professional Automatic. It was a Clive Cussler edition and bears the serial number 490/3000. Only 3,000 pieces were ever made. Cussler is a Doxa watch enthusiast, and in his novels, Dirk Pitt wears Doxa timepieces with orange dials. In the movie, the Doxa Sub 6000T is clearly visible on Dirk's wrist when he borrows Al's rifle scope to scout the desert horizon. For scenes involving stunt work, McConaughey wore a fake prop watch. In the novels, Rudy Gunn is every bit as capable as Pitt and Giardino, and even had his own subplot about his solo escape from Mali and back to Washington, D.C. to meet with Sandecker. The film combines Gunn with several characters to turn him into a bumbling comic relief, and his adventure out of Mali is cut entirely. Sandecker also never leaves Cairo until Rudy makes it back to the Numa ship with the contamination data. In the book, Massard's toxic waste disposal plant, Foro, is over 200 kilometers from his gold mine, Tbilisi. In the book, the Calliope, Sandecker's personal yacht in the film, was a decked-out, purpose-built micro-warship with a science lab. The explosive scuttling was done at night to escape the Malian naval and air forces, including a luxury jet carrying General Kazim. Eva and Frank were never on it. In the book, Doctors Frank Hopper, Eva Rojas, and the other WHO scientists are brought to Tbilisi, where it used Massad's slave mines, and imprisoned there. Eva spends most of the book on her own adventure, apart from Pitt and Giardino. The scene where Dirk fights off Eva's attackers on the beach is much different from the book. In the book, Eva's on the beach to sunbathe and she is attacked by Kazim's assassins. Instead of receiving a blow to the head and becoming unconscious, as in the film, she's nearly choked to death before Pitt intervenes by shooting a fishing spear through the head of one of the assassins and twisting the head of another around twice with his bare hands. Wow. Pitt helps Eva escape the beach after her rental car is set ablaze by the third accomplice, who Pitt subdues in an equally ridiculous manner and starts to question before the man swallows a cyanide pill concealed in a fake tooth. Pitt disposes of their bodies in the ocean, and Kazim is left to guess whatever became of them. After this close encounter, Eva has dinner with Dirk, where they each discuss their business in Africa. The real CSS Texas Ironclad was captured unfinished on April 14, 1865, at the Norfolk Naval Yard in Richmond, Virginia. She was abandoned after surviving unsuccessful attempts at destruction by evacuating Confederates the previous day. Unlike other ironclads, she was not recommissioned as a Union ship. On October 15, 1867, she was sold at auction and subsequently cut down for scrap. This was Penelope Cruz's first taste of an action-adventure movie. In the novel, Frank Hopper is a tall Canadian redhead. Another character likens him to legendary Viking Eric the Red, minus the horned helmet and battle axe. One of the three prologues of the book entails a group of tourists stopping in Asalar, where the villagers Crazed by the mysterious illness from the contaminated groundwater from their well, eat the tourists alive. Yike. So this does start out as a zombie movie. Okay. In the novel The Land Yacht that Pitt and Giordino built out of Kitty Manick's plane, not only saved them from the absolute brink of death, but also had seats. They named it after her in tribute. Philip Anschutz and Bristol Bay Productions still have the right to adapt a number of Clive Cussler's books to film. Due to the film's failure at the box office and the anonymity that formed, the animosity that formed between Cussler and the production, it is unlikely that any more Dirk Pitt adventures will show up on the big screen. And that would be too bad.
That's a shame. Inca
Yeah.
Gold would be awesome.
John L. Porter designed the ironclad casemate warship as far back as 1849, but it received little attention in Washington. It wasn't until 1859 when ironclads were first used in battle. The first ever built being the Glory, a French naval vessel designed by Henry Dupuy Delaune. The crashed plane that Pitt and Giordino find in the desert is depicted as having crashed into a dune. One of the book's 3 prologues, Kitty Manick, the plane crashed into a wadi or dry riverbed with 30-foot deep bays. The bays were the boys built the land yacht out of plane parts and hoisted it up the slope of the bay while severely dehydrated. Lambert Wilson played a businessman dealing with a toxic chemical in the previous year's Catwoman. Yes, that Catwoman. In the novel, amongst the findings into Texas was the mummified body of Abraham Lincoln. Don't ask me how it got there. I don't know. In the film, finding the Texas ironclad is Dirk's lifelong obsession. In the source novel, he doesn't learn about the ship until halfway into the story. He's told the legend of the Confederate ship sailing up the Niger River by a wandering American treasure hunter who turns out to be Clive Cussler writing himself into the story. What the fuck was this book, man? Jesus. Zombies, and the author writes himself into the damn book. Okay. Wow. All right. Oh, that's it, folks. The scrolls are closed.
The scrolls are closed.
Oh my God.
Wow. How did? Oh, I just got superimposed the image and just put it up there. Yeah. That's just there for tips, you know.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy the film, or?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. You know, it's a diverting little kind of James Bond, but not kind of movie. You know, yeah. Idea for a watch party: the X-Files film. I wouldn't have a problem with that. No. Either one.
Yeah.
So he got a golden shower then. Apparently, yeah. The poor guy. And it got cut out of the movie. That whole scene. The story this movie tells is nothing like the story the novel tells. I'm beginning to get that idea. All right. I was sadly distracted by I enjoyed what I saw. Yeah, no problem. The film is available on Fandango at home. So if you missed any part of it, you can check it out there. And if I recall, it did get a physical media release. So you might be able to find it that way as well. That's all I got. What do we have coming up in the upcoming weeks, Bill?
Well, I think we're going to do some movies that were probably missed by a lot of us. I know there's one called Centurion that I'd like to kind of look at that I've never seen.
Yes.
And then there's also one called Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow with Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I kind of don't like her as a person because of her comments politically. Yeah. Anyway, that's
it's a fun movie, and she's in it for like 5 minutes, so it's okay.
That one's some Dirty Harry, and Western Cinema is going to be here for at least three or maybe 4 spooky westerns coming up. We're going to have to find some spooky westerns because I would definitely want to dive into that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, in the month of October, you're going to get Western Cinema spookified. horror themed westerns that we have not played here.
Well,
to be determined.
Yep.
I think next week we can do the Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. I don't want to wait. Let's just get it done. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So next week here on Action Theater, Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. As I'd like to thank each and every one of you awesome, wonderful people for being here. Curtis Shelby, the voice of Northern Oklahoma. You, Sam G. Connie Clary, FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Sonora Poopus Cuber. Ow. Keely Chow. Roll Tide, brother. Roll Tide. Sergeant Gianta saying hi. And our friend Big Al Presents dropping by to give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that Big Al. Check him out for, was it tomorrow? Friday night? For Pumpkinhead? Maybe I can join you. Maybe I will. Who knows? Kronos, the man, the troll that can't be killed or removed. Action Podcast, thank you for being here. Andrea Block. Real Walden Gaming Clips. Hello, sir. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Now, thank you all for being here. I'll come back for Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow next week. As I always like to say, always remember to be excellent to each other. Party on, and we'll see you on the next one. Over to you, Deleted.
All right. And as I always say at the end of every show, thank you all very much for joining us here today. Apologies once again for the tech issues at the beginning. Kind of out of our hands, folks, but we got it. The show is in the can, so to speak. So thank you all for joining us. Hope that you enjoyed the movie. From HQ, our second home office in Arizona and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy, because this is how we win. And hey, do not forget to join us for Bill's birthday karaoke stream coming up this weekend.
Yep. Saturday.